There you go. The song's called Walk. It's Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters right here on 88.5 the SoCal Sound. Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, and I can't believe the day has finally arrived where our buddy, a friend to all, a mentor to many, an inspirational individual. We got Matt Pinfield here in our studio right now.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's great to be back with you, Mookie. I'm so excited to be here, and there was a lot of doom and gloom. I had that stroke on January 6th, and it was unbelievable because at the time, I started feeling odd. I started to feel odd that night. I was at a friend's house, on a drummer of a very famous band that we play on the radio here, actually. Uh-huh. And I was at his house, and all of a sudden I said to him, I go, man, I feel weird. And I, just kind of went down on the couch, and then I said, I think you better call someone, you know what I mean? And eventually, eventually the EMS came, and it was crazy. I remember getting into the ambulance and saying goodbye to people. I kind of remember, but I don't really remember getting to the hospital, to Kaiser. So, I was in a coma on and off for 2 months, and I literally, they just didn't know what was going to be happening. So I know that the truth was, it was many times they said that I wasn't going to live, that I wasn't, and they told my daughters that, which is just a horrifying thing that my kids would have to go through that, or my friends who love me. And so there were some really dark days for people that I love and that care about me very much, and the people like here, not only our listeners but my friends here, like you guys, just to think that your friend isn't going to make it, and somebody that you love and care about. So, I'm just so grateful to be here. I mean,
we can't believe it. I'm trying not to get emotional on the air here as you're finally sitting in front of us here in the studio. It's just amazing. Charles, your buddy, was here, and he said that, well, first of all, your daughter, Jessica, an angel. Are you kidding me? She was with you, every step of the way. And I guess Charles was telling the story that the nurse or the doctor walked in and they said, Matt might not even be able to walk or talk again. And then your buddy Allison said, well, you don't know Matt Pinfield like we do.
Well, I'm very grateful. And for those of anybody listening who, has a loved one or a friend or somebody in their lives who've been through this, how difficult it can be. And, I'm grateful that I can, be available not only to do what I love to do, which is talk about music again and play music and turn people on to music and share stories, but also, to be, if it's any inspiration, to be inspirational, that it's worth fighting. And that's why we played Foo Fighters' Walk. I picked that song because I've just always felt I love that song, and I love the Foo Fighters, and I love that album, Wasting Light. I mean, I really love many of their albums, but that song is just so perfect for, I did have to learn to walk again. And I'm still working on it. I have, as you saw, I came in with the cane that Ozzy Osbourne sent me, and it's one of Ozzy's canes, and it was, but I've been out there just doing as much physical therapy and just as much as I can do. And
your mental capacity is there. Yeah, you're right here with us, man. It's just it must be frustrating to have to walk a little bit slower, have to use that cane. You know. So
well, and it's amazing because they were in physical therapy. I was 2 months in Kaiser, and then I was, and I got MRSA pneumonia, so I also I was really, really sick, and they did not expect me to live. I mean, I guess about only 55% of people live through that. But it was like, it was one of those situations where I was unaware completely until I woke up a couple months later. And I just got to say that I'm grateful that for everyone who cared and prayed and had thought positive thoughts for me, because I thought the collective consciousness of people that cared and loved music as much as I do and prayed were
there were so many people. Many people had your back. There were so many people that visited you while you were recovering in the hospital. Which is just amazing. And somebody else said off the air one of the nurses, I think, in the hospital was like, you must be really popular because there's a lot of people coming to visit you. And I think you were in bed or something saying, yeah, that's just a bunch of rock stars from the 90s.
I don't remember that.
We're here with Matt Pinfield. It's amazing.
But it was like funny. We played Thin Lizzy, Fight or Fall, because I've always loved, one of the songs that I posted on social media was Fighting My Way Back, which I'm certainly doing. I'm doing it on a daily basis. It's a lot of work, and it's not something that happens overnight, but I've been very blessed to have been making a lot of progress through, a lot of physical therapy and occupational therapy. But I love that song, Fight or Fall by Thin Lizzy. I thought it was just always a song I love. I just remember being a kid and riding on the back of my brother's motorcycle. And of course, there wasn't really music that you could hear at that period of time. I mean, all you'd hear from Thin Lizzy on the radio was The Boys Are Back in Town, but they had a lot of great songs, and that was on that album.
Right, so we've asked you to sort of curate a playlist for this hour of songs that are meaningful to you.
Yeah.
I should also mention that we have a relatively big announcement this hour, shortly after 5:30, if we could time it out right. But again, we realize we got some new listeners today. Welcome. We are public radio here in Southern California, 88.5 the SoCal Sound. We got some people streaming from all across the country on our website, the SoCalSound.org, as well as the SoCal Sound app. I have so many more questions for you, but I think we should keep the music going.
I think we should. And this song is by The Jam. It's something that we play quite a bit here. I love The Jam, and I love Paul Weller. And Paul posted something very nice on his social media, just wishing for me. He and his wife both posted something really beautiful, wishing me well. And then that meant a lot to me, of course, because I've always been such a big fan of Paul's and been seeing him live and interviewing him since I was a teenager, with The Jam. So we're going to play a Jam song.
Let's do it.
We're going to play Start, because we're starting things up again here, which is really exciting.
We really are. Here with Matt Pinfield. Finally, it's unbelievable. This is 88.5, the SoCal Sound. There you go. That would be Joe Strummer and The Clash right there. I'm not down on listener-supported public radio. If you like what you hear, if you appreciate what we do around the community, join us. Become a member at the SoCalSound.org. My name's Mookie. Matt Pinfield is back, baby, and he's here in our studio today. You were saying Mick Jones from The Clash reached out to you.
Yeah, I got a text from Mick, and it just telling me that he really was praying for me and hoping that I would have a quick recovery. And that meant a lot, because The Clash and The Jam were such an important part of, my late teenage years and then early on, so I love them, of course. And having seen The Clash and The Jam back then, and so I had to play them back to back, because they're both, and the fact that, like I said, Paul Weller and Mick reaching out. And of course, I have the Clash tattoo of Paul Simmons smashing
up there on
my shoulder of the cover of London Calling.
I love that.
Yeah, which was great. So, but so that was important. It was beautiful to hear from them. I missed so many things, Mookie. You had asked me, you're like, I didn't know about the fires. I didn't know, which was really heartbreaking when I heard that. I missed everything. I missed, the Oscars, the Grammys, the inauguration. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right.
But I was out of commission for a couple of months. I just really was really sleeping through it, or occasionally coming to conscious, but not that I remember, and I remember none of it. Because people would say to me, I was there, I was playing you music, and and I like I said, it was interesting, because my friend Charles came and brought a guitar, and Art Alexakis from Everclear came and played a guitar. A lot of people came and played, and then Charles, I was singing "Cry Baby Cry" by the Beatles.
Yeah, right,
which was fun.
When shortly after you pretty much came to, right?
Yeah, like immediately. And so that was a great time. And I know you were also going to ask me about the Green Day thing, because that's really cool. It was what a beautiful honor to be asked to be there to host Green Day getting their star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Right. So, I mean, you had been out of commission for months and months. People didn't know what the heck was going on. Some people only, were just reading sort of the tabloids, if you will, and that's no way to get real information. But then you made a resurgence on social media out of the blue, and then all of a sudden you're emceeing Green Day's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony, and we were like, that's our guy. Before you know it, Matt's coming back, and here you are today. You've had a wild ride over the past several years. We'll get back to the Green Day thing if you don't mind, but
yeah,
and it's all been documented in your book, by the way, which is a book of memoirs, right?
Yeah.
And what's that called?
The book is named after the Killer song that I was honored to be inspired, the influence behind the song, all these things that I've done. So that book, and I'm working on, I got to do a second book. I mean, I need to do, so much has happened.
Yeah.
Between getting hit by the car and this stroke, and there's just so much, there's a lot of fight in there. So I really need to tell the story. There's a lot of things that I didn't touch on in the first book, even though I think the first book, it was great for when I wrote it, but there's,
Right.
and it was, in other words, I really, enjoyed the experience of getting to do it. But I have a bigger responsibility now, I think, to share, the getting through these really incredibly tough times and being, some kind of inspiration for people, or to let them know that they're not alone, number one. And, and it's always worth it to do everything you can to fight another day, and it's not always easy. It's certainly, and I don't want to pretend that it's all easy for me. I mean, I've got a long way to go with this physical therapy and recovery, and to get, but I've made a lot of headway, which is pretty shocking.
Yeah, and even more gratitude than ever before. You had an aneurysm at 15 years old, right?
Yes.
You had that incident where you got hit by a car several years ago, which is crazy. And of course, this thing that just happened. It's
I've used up quite a few of my lives, and I think,
Yeah, it was in the press release. Pat Osborne, the GM here, said this guy's got 9 lives. It's remarkable.
I think I've used up more than 3, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it's time to, but I'm just very, very, again, the amazing amount of gratitude. I'm so grateful, and I have so much love for everybody who reached out, who's a listener, and just all my friends, and I just want you to know how much it means to me from the bottom of my heart. I mean, it absolutely does. That collective prayer and your well wishes really is the thing that kept me going, and I truly believe that, and I'm just grateful. And of course, I couldn't wait to start listening to music as soon as I was conscious.
Right.
It was, it was really important, and I also, I got a really nice note and video from Bob Mould as well. So we're gonna play Green Day, right? And we're gonna play them covering a song that was actually a Grant Hart song from Husker Du, but a great track. And because it was such an honor to do that thing with Green Day and to go up there and do that. And it was it was my first thing in public, and I had not been posting very long before that. I kind of really just wanted to thank everybody for all their love and their support, but that was what an incredible day it was for me, because I've always loved those guys and their families, and just good people. And those guys worked so hard. There's stories that just about those guys. People, they toured and worked their ass off from very early. They did the van. They slept outside on dirty mattresses in the back of mattress stores, and they did all kind. They did the full-on punk rock thing. So they were, they are 100% legit from minute one, and I love them. So I'm gonna play. We'll play that right now, right? And,
let's get into it. It's Green Day's version of "Don't Want to Know If You Are Lonely." We've asked Matt Pinfield to curate a great playlist for this hour. It's really nice to have our guy Matt Pinfield back. And again, we have a big announcement in just a few minutes from now. But here's Green Day on the SoCal Sound. All right, there you go. Welcome back to our studio here. We are 88.5 the SoCal Sound. My name's Mookie. A big shout out to everybody streaming us. We're actually live streaming. There's a video component right now if you want to check that out at the SoCalSound.org. Finally, we're here with our guy Matt Pinfield, a club DJ, radio guy, MTV VJ, A&R person for a period of time, a published author, and so many other things. So many other things as well. What's next, Matt? What are you going to do next?
I don't know. Maybe get a toupee or something. No, I don't know. No. I'm. What I'm going to do is, of course, do what I'm doing now, and let's get back to work and being on the radio. I definitely also, like I said, there's a lot of things I want to do. I'm start the second book. And then just do some. like some outreach and do, help people. That's what I want to do. It's always been important to me.
Yeah. So you've curated a bunch of songs here that are meaningful to you. We do have to get to our underwriting and sponsorship partners, and then we've got a big announcement coming. But immediately, again, as we always get back to the music faster, we're going to hear a great song by The Who, and this was hand-selected by yourself.
Yeah, because Quadrophenia is like one of my favorite albums of all time. I love that record. I mean, I'm a huge Who fan, and when I got to interview Townsend, one of the most amazing things for me was at South by Southwest. He was whispering in my ear, talking about new bands at the time, like the Kaiser Chiefs were new then, and I just like at one point, I've interviewed a lot of my heroes, and I've been very blessed to do that. But I just remember thinking to myself, Pete Townsend's whispering in my ears, man. This is wild.
Yeah.
He's right here. I mean, we were like in this booth waiting to go on because they had turned the convention center in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest into a double venue for this broadcast. And
wow.
It was a beautiful moment. But I did tell him, I said, Pete, Quadrophenia is one of the albums that changed my life. I love that record. So, it was, so we're going to play one of the songs on that record.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm One is the track from The Who. We're going to rip right into that next, and then more from our studio with a pretty big announcement just ahead on the SoCal Sound.
Hey, everybody watching the stream right now, live from KCSN Studios here at the SoCal Sound. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm so happy to be back here with you. And, man, I just, I love music so much, and I'm so grateful, and I love the station, and I'm just psyched to be back here with my family. And, it's just exciting to be, I put it this way. Gratitude is real. And, I'm so happy to be alive every day and every moment. So thank you for hanging out with us today, and thank you for watching the stream. And make sure you also download the app. All right? Don't forget the SoCal Sound. Make sure you download the app so you can always stream the shows, all of them. Some of the ones that you hear live and some of the ones you might miss.
All right, there you go. See, we're having so much fun talking and reminiscing and catching up off the air that sometimes we forget to turn the mics on. I'm here with Matt Pinfield. We are 88.5 the SoCal Sound and online, thesocalsound.org. Thanks to everybody tuning in locally. Thanks to everybody streaming through the app or our website. And again, if you don't have the app, go to the App Store, search for the SoCal Sound. So, Matt, there was a press release that came out earlier this week, but I don't expect the general public to read those things, So some people know about our, quote, big announcement, but do you mind if we just get into it right now?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. I do have some audio to play, and I just wanted to know what you think about this one.
The irreverent, the inspiring, and the always entertaining, Matt Pinfield is back on the airwaves. Don't miss the Matt Pinfield Show, weekdays at 4 p.m. on the SoCal Sound.
Wait, hold on. I got another one for you, dude.
That was
good. The man who defied the odds is back, and he's more resilient than ever. The Matt Pinfield Show, weekdays at 4 p.m. on the SoCal Sound.
All right, hold on. I got another one for you.
You're listening to the Matt Pinfield Show on the SoCal Sound and the SoCal Sound app.
All right, well, hold on. Here's another one.
The Matt Pinfield Show, weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. only on the SoCal Sound.
All right, so there's more to come, but I mean that's the big announcement.
It's
the
exciting.
Matt Pinfield Show.
And I saw some stuff. Some comments on the website where it said, is he going to announce he's going to be a rapper now? I'm like, no, not really. I mean, I'll still be talking, but those that's not in the future. Those are funny as hell.
And I love the fact that you have like so many fans and so many followers, but you actually take the time to read the comments and reach out to people on social media. It's great.
Well, I love people and I appreciate the support. I wish I could get back to everybody, but of course sometimes it takes time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just a matter, and also especially because I've had a stroke, so the use of my hands, like they're, I can use them both, but my right is not. I'm a lefty, so thank God it was like my right side was more affected. I'm a southpaw, so but Yeah, but I mean, I'm getting the use of that right hand is getting better every day. You know, it's just, and it's a lot of work, but you got to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful to be here. I'm alive.
Well, man, you're getting there. And again, for people who missed it, maybe they've seen pictures on socials, but that cane that you've been walking around with, that's like a special, like, piece of rock memorabilia right there, isn't it?
It's Ozzy Osbourne's cane. Ozzy sent me his cane, which was a very incredibly beautiful and kind thing to do. I know that he and Sharon and the family were very upset about my strokes when they found out about it. And they found out about it a little late, and then that was just the kindest thing, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
my friend
that's
Keith,
amazing.
and so I love that. You know, so we played The Who because I love Quadrophenia, and we played that Green Day cover of the Husker Du song. We played a lot of things, but we're going to play next, you know, one of my favorite singers of all time, and I was blessed enough to call him a friend, and we, you know, spent a lot of time and a lot of conversations about life, you know what I mean? Life, love, and just things in general. And I thought the song was really, appropriate because for me it was very black days. In fact, they were so black, they were dark. I didn't really, I wasn't really conscious for 2 months. And when I was, I don't remember absolutely any of it. So
Wow.
I wasn't. So, and I went into a deeper coma because of the MRSA pneumonia. So I was just, and they weren't expecting me to live. And the saddest part was, that my daughters were told that I wasn't going to live, and they needed to say goodbye to me by that one night. And so there were a series of nights. And then my daughter and her mother flew up from the other side of the country, so both my daughters, but
Presumably to say goodbye.
to say goodbye, which is a horrible thing. Nobody would ever want that for their children or for their but luckily I did come out of it. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for all the support, love, and prayers, and all just the good thoughts, sending me good thoughts. I mean, because certainly. And music has always, just been the center. Music and good people. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, you've been able to, make a living off of really being a music fan. For all of these years.
Yeah, it's the most beautiful gift of all time. And I'm so happy to be back on the radio. I missed it doing it so much, and it was like, I did. I missed so much being able to play music, talk about it, and share my excitement and my passion for music, so I'm really happy to be back. And I Fell on Black Days is just a song that I've always loved. I just thought, first of all, Chris Cornell was one of the greatest vocalists, in my opinion, of all time. And there are many great ones, but Chris is one of the most special. And again, because we were friends, we became friends, and I got to talk to him about life and the struggles. It's always meant so much to me. So it's an important song for me to play because things were very dark. But you know what? Every day, a little better. I just keep working on my physical therapy, occupational therapy. And, I just want to share that message that, there is always hope. And, for those of you who know someone who's been through a massive stroke like this or have been through other health issues or, just my love and heart is with you 100%. And so we're going to play Fell on Black Days right now from Soundgarden from one of my favorite albums, Super Unknown.
Let's do it. You're listening to the SoCal Sound. We're here with Matt Pinfield. We are 88.5 the SoCal Sound. I am fumbling with my phone here in the studio because I truly can't believe that Matt Pinfield is sitting in front of me right now. I'm just going to take a selfie.
Yes,
right here. Let me flip that camera.
It's really funny how my headphones keep coming up because I've always done this thing where some days I listen with one headphone.
No, I did that. I did that for years, which it really messed up hearing in one of my ears. Let me take this snapshot of us.
There we go.
All right. Anyway, the Matt Pinfield Show, the new Matt Pinfield Show starts on Monday from 4 to 6 p.m. You've got the Cover Me segment. You've got 120 seconds.
And a lot of great music. We'll have so much fun.
So much fun, and you've got so much to say and so much music to share. I know it is your passion.
I'm so happy to be back, and I just love sharing music with everybody. And I'm very grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. Like if you just tuned in, it was like one of those things where being in a coma for couple months and just with and then being in a rehabilitation hospital, learning how to walk again, and
That was like a month you were in a live-in facility, weren't you?
Yeah, for 36 days,
yeah, doing rehab.
And then I went down and I went out west where I had family, and I did more at another hospital there, and then I did a lot of outpatient stuff too. But I'm keep on going.
Can't believe you're back. And what were we gonna say?
I'm super great. Again, you said it before. I'm grateful. The Procol Harum story. The reason why we played A Wider Shade of Pale is because that was one of the first songs I was talking about when I came out of my coma. And don't ask me why, because I don't even know why. I love the song, but I just don't know why that was the song that was in my head. I think that feeling kind of seasick and the whole, thing about is the ceiling blew away. It just the room was humming harder. There was something about that room was humming harder thing that just just really somehow it just hit me. And and then, I went on to, tell the people that were in the hospital room the history of the song, and they're like, oh, my God, he's still got his memory. They were really shocked that I still had my memory of all music info. And I explained to them that the song Procol Harum, Wider Shade of Pale, was a song where that line, A Wider Shade of Pale, came from this A&R guy, record producer named Guy Stevens, and it's a connection to the Clash later on because Guy Stevens, who had produced Mott the Hoople's early records and discovered them and worked with he's an A&R guy for Island Records in England. He was at a party and he looked at his wife and he said, "Baby, you've turned a wider shade of pale." And one of the guys in Gary Brooker and those guys that worked with Procol Harum literally heard him say that line, and it became this epic song, and one of the biggest songs of the year in the UK in 1967. And I thought it was amazing. There's a connection to the Clash because Guy Stevens, the guy who came up with that line, he ended up producing London Calling. You know what I mean? And the reason why he produced London Calling is because Mick Jones loved Mott the Hoople so much. Strummer also liked Mott. I mean, they all did. That's why Mick Jones wanted him to produce that record.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I love the fact that a lot of people heard that song for the first time, but it's
But Annie Lennox doing it too was a great version.
That's right. And that's what it's all about here is music discovery, whether it's a song that's decades old or something brand new. And we're so thankful that this is, one of your radio homes, and I know you love being on the non-commercial public radio side of things, man. When you first started, I like to tell people that you sort of changed the culture around here, just with your positivity and your stellar attitude, and your commitment to music and your passion for the music. And I tell the story on the air sometimes that it was like the first week you started, it's at midnight, I'm at home, I'm actually still working, and somebody text messages me, I'm like, who's this? It's super late, and it was you. And it was the Black Keys record just dropped, Ohio Plays, and you're like, you got to check this one out. It's, co-written by Noel
Only
Gallagher.
Love Matters, yeah, right.
Yeah, and we're texting back and forth, and I'm sitting here, and I'm geeking out on music with Matt Pinfield. It was sort of a goosebumps, like I got to pinch myself type of moment, like, oh my God, like I'm homies with Matt Pinfield,
Yeah, I'm proud to be your friend and your colleague and coworker, man. I love you, man. We're having a great, and that's the thing is we could talk about music, the excitement, you share it, and we love sharing that with everybody who listens as well. So I'm so excited to get back on. I feel like I've missed, being away, being off the air just not being out of work for like 5 months. It's been wild. It's been a wild ride, but God, I'm so grateful to be alive, and I'm grateful for all the well wishes and all the prayer. And I decided, I guess the last song I was going to play was from Pearl Jam because I love this song and I love this record so much. Last year was when I went to see them live at the Forum for this record, and they also played Ohana Festival, and they were great. And I thought this record was just incredible. And I loved this last song on the album called Setting Sun, which they were doing live quite a few evenings. But it just, this song just really cut through me, and I decided it was a great one to end with today. And I'm excited to be back on 4 o'clock on Monday, like to start officially. So
it's going to be great.
And I love it. And I love that everybody was here to hang today. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It was quite the welcome, and it was so nice to hug you when you walked in.
It was great to hug you, man. And it was good to see everybody because, again, they said I wasn't going to live. They said it multiple times to my coworkers, old friends, my old bosses that had been there, like at MTV, and my family, and they told them many times I was not going to live, I wasn't going to speak again, I wasn't going to walk again, and I probably wouldn't have much of a quality of life. But I'm here, I'm grateful, and I'm willing to fight every day and do whatever work it takes. I'm still here, for my 2 daughters and for everybody else, and. Man, I'm grateful.
Welcome back, Matt. We're all so happy for you.
I love you guys. I love you. Thank you so much for having me on today. And it's exciting to come back. I can't wait to start. And this is a start because we're just sharing that passion, that love. So
yeah,
we'll leave everybody with Pearl Jam today.
All right, you're not off the hook yet, man. We're going to shoot some videos. We got some voiceover work for you to do while you're here.
Yeah, of course.
And I should mention to the listening audience, stick around. Nick Harcourt's on the air next with a great show called Nick at 6. My name's Mookie.
We love Nick.
Matt Pinfield. We do love Nick. Matt Pinfield's in the house, and we are 88.5, the SoCal Sound.
Thank you, everybody. It's so great to be back.